Good afternoon, everyone. This is BremSter, and welcome to Sudoku U. So this is another puzzle in the Sudoku U series, which is puzzles that in this case, I believe they're being set by the students of the students in the Puzzles and Paradoxes class by FullDeck and Missing a Few Cards. I've gone through the intro in previous things. So, of course, links below will be to this puzzle, but also to books that have been released by FullDeck and Missing a Few Cards of the puzzles created in this. I've put them in all the videos, but I forgot to mention it. This is Jailbreak by Qualter and Orion. This one is just a Cages Sudoku. So, I say just. Nothing just about it. It is a Cages Sudoku. So what we have in this one is, of course, normal Sudoku rules apply. So in every box, in every row, and in every column, the digits 1 to 9 must be placed without repetition. And then cages. Digits in cages cannot repeat and must sum to the value shown in the upper left corner of the cage. So these two digits will sum to 13. These will sum to 12. These three will sum to 6. And that's probably where I'm going to start. You'll notice that in a lot of the puzzles that come out of this class, as well as in more and more puzzles that you'll see, you won't see the word killer used as much anymore. And in the beginning, I was like, really? But I'm starting to come around on this one. Words have meaning, and the reason... killer is a negative connotation, and, if you think about it from just an overall point of view, if you turn around to someone, killer has multiple meanings, some of which are just not great. Trying to just move away. Cage Sudoku or Cages Sudoku makes sense. It's what we're using them. We call them cages because they've got the dotted lines and everything. That makes sense. But or cage sum Sudoku is the one that I'm growing fond of. So this is why in this one in particular, it's like, is it a killer Sudoku? Yeah, this is a killer Sudoku, but we're not using the term as much, particularly in puzzles that are being presented in schools. And I kind of get that. So that's why I kind of agree with this as a concept. Now, I'm not trying to lead a movement here and say we should change all Sudoku. It would be nice if it happened. It's just something to think about. Words matter. Anyway, I'm going to restart the puzzle to restart my timer. Let's give this a shot. I said I was going to start here. Let's. These are 3 different digits. The minimum they could be, it'd be 1, 2, and 3, because they're the lowest digits we have working in the digits 1 to 9. And 1, 2, and 3 sum to 6. So they must be 1, 2, 3. And immediately that's doing work over here. Because what are the smallest 4 digits I can put into 4 different cells? Well, they're 1, 2, 3, and 4. And 1, 2, 3, and 4 sums to 10. So these must be 1, 2, 3, and 4. But the 1, 2, 3 is looking across saying this can't be a 1, 2, or 3. So that becomes the 4, which removes the ability for those to be 4, which means this must be the 1, 2, 3, because I can't put 1, 2, and 3 in this box into any of those cells. So this sums to 6. And in order to turn 6, which I've got in those, to 15, that becomes the 9. And that's a really nice opening. Now, which means, of course, 4 is in one of those 2 cells by Sudoku. But if this was a 4, this would have to be a 9, but the 9 is already placed. So this is the 4. 4 plus what equals 12? Well, I believe it's 8. 8 and 4 is 12. So these digits are 5, 6, and 7. And only 2 of those, basically 5 to get to 13, I'd need the 8. I don't have it, so that's the 6, 7, and that's the 5. That's a really nice opening. I like that. So we need to put 9 up here because there's no 9 in the row. Basically, these are 6, 7, and 9. In order to complete the row. So 9 is up here. So how do we do the 12? We can't use 9, 3. We can't use 8, 4. We could use 7, 5. We can't use 6, 6. 6, 6 doesn't work. So this is 5, 7. This is from 6, 7, 9, and it can't be the 9 because the 9 has to be up here because that's what has to go. It has to go in row 1 somewhere. So this is 6, 7. Nice. Now, I can see something with this 9 cage, which is 2 digits that go into a 9 cage. 2 of them must be from 1, 2, 3. Because if they weren't, if I didn't include 2 digits from 1, 2, 3 in this, what would the 2 digits that weren't from 1, 2, 3 be? So let's say neither of these 2 digits were from 1, 2, 3. What's the smallest they could be? Well, they'd be 4 and 5, which means these sum to 9, and that would need to be a 0. It doesn't work. So 2 of these digits are from 1, 2, 3. So if I looked at, and I've got a digit here from 1, 2, 3. So if I look down here, these can't be from 1, 2, 3 because all the 1, 2, 3s are taken. I mean, 8 and 9 has to be down here, but these are from 4, 5, they can't be from 6, 7, and then 8, 9. So these are 4, 5, 8, 9. This digit here can't be a 4, because if this was a 4, that would have to be a 10. And this one can't be a 5, because this is a 5, this would have to be a 9, but the 9 has to go in these 3. So this is 8 or 9. 9 would go with 5, 8 would go with 6, and this can't be a 5. So this is 6 and 8. And I can take the 8 out of those. That is 4, 5, 9. Which I could have got to a different way, I think, because what digit could go in here? Maybe not. Oh, what I could have done is started here. Well, I could have actually started here. How do you make up a 17 cage? There's only one way to do it. The 2 largest digits are 8 and 9, so this must be 8, 9, and the 8 is looking down, making that the 9 and that the 8. That would have been a shortcut. So this, there's a 4 or a 5 in here. Right, there's a 4, there's no 6 available in this cage. So this can't be 1, 2, 6. So this, if this was a 3, the 2 low digits here would be 1, 2, and I'd need to use a 6. So this can't be the 3. The 3 is in here. There must be a 3 in here. And it's either 2, 3, 4 or 1, 3, 5. But I'm not sure what that's telling me yet. It's telling me I need to look somewhere else. Okay, let's do some math in box 7, because I don't know if I've used this trick. I could have used it here to get this digit, but didn't. But what we know is all of the digits from 1 to 9, which have to get placed into that box, sum to 45. Now, we know that these digits here, because of the cage, sum to 35. So these digits sum to 45 minus 35. So these digits sum to 10. But the minimum they could be is 1, 2, 3, 4, which is 10. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, and these are the other digits. Does that help me? This digit is in one of those 2, but I don't know that that's enough yet. So this is either 1, 4, so these sum to 5, so these sum to 5. This is either 1, 4 or 2, 3. Oh, I've got another forced cage here. This is right, I've got another forced cage here. A 3 cage is the 2 lowest digits, 1 and 2. So that's the 3. This is a 1, 2. Is it these, I wonder? This is a 1, 2. Four could be in there. These are different. Where is that digit? It's one of these cells. If that's a 4, this is 1, 3. There must be a 1 in this cage. Can I use that? 27 in 4. Oh. This pencil mark is wrong. This pencil mark is right, but the 5, 7 took 7 out of there. This is wrong. The 5, 7 took 7 out of there. This is the 7, this is the 6. This is the 6, 9, and this is the 8. I got a wrong pencil mark up here. So I know what these 3 digits are. These are 4, 6, 9, because of that's where they have to go. And these are 5, 7, and 8. 9 here would need that to be a 4, so that's not the 9. 6 would need that to be 7. Well, 8 would need that to be 5, so that's not 8. 6, 7, 4, 5. So this is 6 and 7. And there's no 6 here, and there's no 7 there. Sorry, that was there from the very beginning. 8 is now in one of those two, which puts 8 in one of those two. 8 here would mean those need to sum to 7. I got that very, very wrong. That was absolutely terrible. I wonder if it's this 13 cage. What's the minimum this could be? 3, 4, and 5. Right, the minimum this could be without 1 and 2 is 3, 4, 5. If I add those together, I'm at 12. I need to increase one of those digits by 1 to get to 13. If I increase the 3 by 1, it's 4, 4, 5, which, while it does sum to 13, is got duplicate digits. If I increase the 4 by 1, I'm at 3, 5, 5, which doesn't work. I have to increase the 5 by 1. This is 3, 4, 6, taking 4 out of there. So these digits are 5, 7, 8, 9. There's no 7 in those two. There's no 6 here. There's no 3 here. That was where I needed to look. 6 is now in one of those two cells, except this 6 is looking across saying not there. That's the 6. This is a 1-2 pair. I can't put 1 and 2 in here because 1 and 2 is in here. I can't put 1, 2 in here, and that's not a 1, 2 because the 1s and 2s are all taken up. This is a 1-2 pair. And now I can use a nice little trick on that 15 cage, which is a 3-cell 15 cage is either fully entropic, contains a low digit, a middle digit, and a high digit, or it's 4, 5, 6. And the reason for that is if you grab any two low digits, so from low digits being 1, 2, 3, mid digits being 4, 5, 6, or high digits being 7, 8, 9, if you try and put two low digits into this, then the other digit, even the other digit would have to be 10 or higher. If you put any two high digits in it, the other digit would have to be 0 or lower. So you can never put two high digits and you can never put two low digits into a 3-cell 15 cage. If you put two middle digits into it, any two middle digits you put into, because 4, 5, and 6 adds to 15, your third digit is automatically the other middle digit. So how can you do a 15 sum in 3 without being all the same? Apart from 4, 5, 6, is one low digit, one middle digit, and one high digit, because you can't use two high digits and two low digits. So if you put in a low digit and put in a high digit, your other digit must be mid. So you've either got one of each entropy, one low, one mid, one high, or it's all mid. But this can't be all mid, because this can't, if this was mid, 5, this would have to be 4, 6, and it doesn't work. So this is one of everything. So there must be a 3 in this cage, which is in one of those two cells, which looks up saying that's not the 3, this is the 3. So this is 3, and then two digits that sum to 12. 3 and two digits which sum to 12. Well, it can't be 9, 3. So I can't put a 9 in the cage because it'd need to be 3, 9, 3. So there's no 9 in the cage. 3, 8, 4 or 3, 7, 5. This could be 3. This can't be 3, 4 with, if this was 8, this would have to be 3, 4, and it doesn't work. This is the 5. These now need to sum to 10. They are 3, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is 5, 6, taking 5 out of here. So what we've got is 3 and 4. So the other digit must be the 2. That takes 4 out of here. This is a 5, 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is a 4, which takes 4 out of those. But remember, these sum to 40, so these need to sum to 5, and I can't do 1, 4 anymore. This is a 2, 3, this is a 1, 4. The 1, 4 looks across, making that the 2 and that the 1. There may have been an easier way through that, but that's the way I saw it, and I enjoyed it. Now this 8, of course, takes 8 out of all of those. That's the 8, that's the 9, that's the 7, which makes that the 3 and that the 7. And now I know what that digit is, because I haven't placed a 5 in this row yet. That's the 5. These 3 digits are known. These are 7, 8, 9, and the 8 is looking down, taking 8 out of there. 7, 8, 9, of course, makes that 5 and that 9. The 2, 3, 4 looks like making that 1 and that 2, and these are the 1 and the 7 that have not yet been placed in box 5. This is really nice. There must be a 1 in this 8 cage, because if there's no 1 in the cage, the minimum it could be would be 2, 3, 4, which would make it a 9 cage. So we need to keep it below that, which means there must be a 1 in the cage. So there's a 1 in one of those 2 cells. Now I can't put 1 in any of those cells or any of those cells. There must be a 1 up here to have 1 in the column. That's the 1. This is the 2, 3. This is giving me a 2, 3 deadly pattern, which is going to have to be broken by this 8 cage. But I know what these are. These are 2, 3, 7, and 9. Now, these can't be the 2 and the 3. If this was a 7, 9, these would be 2, 3, because I'd have the 2, 7, 9s here. These would be 2, 3. These would sum to 5, and those 2 cells there would need to sum to 17. It doesn't work. That can't be a 7 or a 9. That must be a 2 or a 3. How do I make this 8 cage? If this is 1, 2... then this is 1, 1, this would be 1, 5 if this is 2, because this would have to sum to 6. If this is 3, then this is 1, 4, because it'd be 5 plus 3. So this is 1, 4, 5. That's not really floating my boat in any important way. So there's got to be a 2 or a 3 in here. But this can't have a 2 in it. If this had a 2 in it, the other 3 cells would need to sum to 25, but the maximum they could be would be 7, 8, 9, which is 24. This is 3, 7, 8, 9. This is a 3, 7, 8, 9 cage. So this is a 3, and the 3 must be here. This is the 2 in the column, preventing that from being a 2. 3, 7, 8, 9. So these are 1, 4, 5. There must be a 6 in one of those 2, which makes that the 9 and that the 6. The 9 is looking down, taking 9 out of there. It's going to be this 19 cage, isn't it? I can tell there's a 7 over here. In fact, there's a 7 right there, because I can't put 7 in either of, or any of those cells, or either of those, because of the 7s looking into the box. This 8 is looking at making that 5 and that 8. This is going to do some work in this column, maybe. There must be a 5 in one of those 2. Yes, and that matters. I can't put... Yes, these 2 5s are making 5 in here, so I can't put 5 in any of those. 5 must go in this cage. This is now a 1-5 pair, and this being a 1-5 pair means this has to be the 2, this has to be the 3. The 2 is looking at making that the 3 and that the 2. But that matters because I know what these are. This is a 4-6 pair, which means this is the 1 and this is the 4. These 3, 4, and 6 must contain a 6. The 6 is looking down saying it's not there. That's the 6, which is saying that's not a 6. This is a 3, 4 pair, so that's the 6. These are 4, 5, and 9 must contain a 5. It's going to be this cage, but again... the math when you get to these larger cages is a little tricky. There's a lot of options unless you can start locking and restricting digits, which I'd like to do. So for example, there's actually a triple in this column because this is a 3, 4 pair. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are 1, 2, 8 and must contain an 8. Could this be a 1? No. If this was a 1, those 2 digits would have to sum to 18, but the maximum you can do is 8 and 9, which is 17. So this isn't a 1. Could this be a 2? If this was a 2, these 2 digits would have to add to 17 and be 8, 9, but I can't put 8 into any of them. That's the 8. See, that's the sort of restriction you need to do. That takes 8 out of there. There must be an 8 in this cage, which now goes here. The 8 looks down, taking 8 out of there. That's a 7-9 pair. That's the 8. The 1 looks up, making that the 5 and that the 1. That's what I should have seen earlier. The 5 looks up, making that the 7 and that the 5. Okay, but these now need to sum to 11, because 19 minus 8 is 11. So if this is 9, this is 2. If this is 5, this is 6. That can't be the 5. That's the 5. If this is 4, in order to get to 11, that's a 7, and it's not available. This is 9 and 2. That's the way you deal with cages where there's too many possibilities. You need to start restricting digit or looking for extremes. The 9 makes that the 4 and that the 9. Either that or you just memorize all the cage values, and I don't like doing that. Or you use the killer cage calculator. And if you are someone who uses the killer cage calculator, that's all fine by me. And anyone tells you, oh, that's not the way to do it, that's fine. Similarly, I often turn around and say that, I notice people are solving using the red highlighting to eliminate digits and stuff. I don't personally like doing it, but if that's the way you want to solve puzzles, cool. 2 looks up, making that the 1 and that the 2, which looks down, making that the 1. The 1 looks across, making that the 7 and that the 1. Where I do start having problems is where people are doing all of their testing using all of these bonus tools. Like there are extra button scripts you can get for Sudoku Pad, which will automatically populate digits or remove digits. Push a button and it'll remove digits that are no longer possible by the constraints and stuff like that. And then they use all of these buttons and all these tools and then use that to rate difficulty or for their testing solves. And it's like, yeah, I pushed the button and there were just pairs all over the board, and then I was able to solve it in 15 minutes. So it's like an easy puzzle. It's easy for a computer. How is it for a person? 2 looking down makes this 1 and 2. This puzzle, by the way, is really cool. Didn't mean to get into a rant. The 9 looks across, taking 9 out of both of those. This is the 7, this is the 3, so this is the 9. The 3 and the 2 looks into this, making that the 4. So this is the 3 and this is the 2. The 3 looks across, making that the 4 and that the 3. The 4 looks down, making this the 3 and this the 4. The 7 looks down, making this the 9 and this the 7. I'm just looking for places I haven't filled out the digits yet and looking how I can eliminate them. The 4 looks in, making that the 6 and that the 4. And the 6 looks across, making this the 5. And putting in the 6 completes the puzzle. Woohoo! Yeah, that was really, really fun. Jailbreak by Qualter and Orion. That was a lot of fun. This is a really nice killer. Finding good coffee break killer Sudoku. This is a coffee break one. Me doing all the explanation probably nearly doubled my time. I think if I was just sitting here punching in digits and solving, I could have done this in about 12 minutes. But doing all the explanations of, this, minimum digits are 1, 2, 3. In order to get to 7, I have to increase it by 1 and all of that sort of stuff. All of that adds time. But I think it's worth it for people who don't know what I'm talking about. It makes it easier to follow on the video. If you're thinking, oh, he's taking too long, watch this at a faster speed. If you're watching your Sudoku solve videos, I highly recommend watching it 1.25 or 1.5 or even faster if you can follow along. But if you're watching someone solve at those speeds, and they're just going, oh, that means this is this digit, and they're just punching digits in, you can't follow along. It is almost impossible unless you're solving really, really quick in your head. You just can't follow along. Where I have found that doing this, I find it much easier to follow along what's going on and you don't get lost. And I think that's important. It's really, really cool stuff. Thank you so much, Qualter and Orion, for the puzzle. Thank you, FullDeck and Missing a Few Cards, for sending through more of these Sudoku U puzzles and doing everything you do. And yeah, just great stuff. Thanks everyone for watching. Please like and subscribe, and thank you for the people who do, and for the people who don't, I hope you're enjoying yourself. Yeah, and as always, to everyone, good luck with your solving.